All right, so here we are looking for a few changes that we're going to make to this deck. How did you feel? How did you feel it went from your side of the game, last game track?
Well, when I reconstructed what that was is a free-to-play version of Combo Druid. I try to take as many rares out as possible, but I know why, but I decided to take Keeper of the Grove out, which could
Hmm.
have really helped me a few
Yeah.
of those with a few of those cards, considering how many minions in your deck have really special activated features.
Hmm.
It definitely would have helped a little bit, but it was just kind of funny from my side because I thought, oh, I can keeper that. Oh wait,
Yeah, no
I can't.
keepers. Well,
Um,
so that actually brings
but
us to a good point here
yeah,
because Keeper of the Grove would have been a real problem for this deck. The game ended with us having four creatures out, but we also had four spells in hand. So
yeah,
if we had gotten a couple of our guys creepered or keepered, we would have been in a lot of trouble. So I
yeah,
think what we want to do is we want to start off by cutting some of these expensive spells for just some more resilient threats. Because the reason why we won that game was because we had all these resilient threats in the
yeah,
beginning. So looking over the list, the first things I want to cut are Bane of Doom, just because it's kind of expensive.
yeah,
Siphon's Pull, just because it's kind of expensive.
yeah.
And two Shadow Bolts, just because they're kind of inflexible and relatively expensive.
Yeah, and also if you're looking for something like Shadow Bolt, I have to say that I believe that Dark Bomb is just a better spell.
Right. And so, you know
It's
what? Why don't
also
we cut the
it's
Demon
also
Fire
common.
too, and we'll put
Yeah,
in two Dark Bombs.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So Dark Bomb, the reason why I like Dark Bomb a lot more than Shadow Bolt is one, it's 1 mana cheaper, but more importantly, you can deal damage to players, and so you can really just push that last little bit of damage through and make some,
Exactly.
yeah, make some nice progress. Looking over it, so now we're down to 27 cards. Um, One card that I think is really strong in this deck is Knife Juggler. So I know it's a rare, but we're gonna go put a second one in. Um, And then, as I was talking about, we wanted some more resilient threats. One card that goes really well with Knife Juggler is Haunted Creeper. Uh,
Definitely.
if you put two of these guys in, since their Death Rattle summons two 1/1 Spectral Spiders, you can attack with it, let it die, and then get your two knives off the Juggler, which is a pretty nice combo. So,
Indeed, and it's really easy to set up in the
yeah.
sense if you do a turn two or you coin out on turn one a haunted creeper,
Mm-hmm.
and they play a minion that can challenge the creeper. You can follow it up with knife juggler, trade the haunted creeper into the opponent's minion, and
Mm-hmm.
have those two knife juggles most likely clear that minion for you, even if the haunted creeper by itself couldn't have done that.
Yeah. And that allows you to get ahead in that board control aspect that we were talking about earlier. So now that we're looking over
Definitely.
this deck again, now our curve is even lower. It's in fact incredibly low. And in the game, I was talking about how Pint-Sized Summoner was a little awkward because I didn't actually have any expensive creatures I wanted to put out a turn
Yeah.
earlier with it. So I
Yeah.
think maybe we should cut them for some bigger, meatier guys.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because when you have so many one mana cost minions,
Yeah,
Pint-Sized Summoner basically just allows you to empty your hand faster.
yeah.
But that's something that you rarely want to do because if your opponent believes that you don't have any more threats,
Hmm.
they'll just, make really optimal trades. They'll clear your board, and it definitely works. Every time my piloted Shredder
Hmm.
puts a Pint-Sized Summoner on the board,
Hmm.
I definitely use it to my advantage.
Yeah,
But
but I bet you're putting out a 5 mana guy a turn early and not just playing
yes.
an extra 1 mana guy.
Exactly. The zero mana Void Walker definitely it made me smile. I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was
I didn't see
that
that
was
coming.
pretty cute. But mostly
Yeah.
what we want to do is we want to be playing. You want to use this card because the Hearthstone creatures get exponentially more powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
look at Silverhand Knight compared
Yeah.
to like I don't know Knife Juggler. This guy he's like 2.5 Knife Jugglers. I
Yeah.
mean, he costs two and a half as much times as much mana, but still. So let's cut these pint-sized summoners and put in some bigger guys. And looking over our curve, it looks like we could put in some guys that cost 3, 4, or 5, depending on what it is that we feel like we need. As I look through this list, cards that jump out at me are Void Caller, Second Floating Watcher, We could put in a piloted shredder, like Track was talking about. Piloted shredder, for reference, is this guy. Pretty relevant.
Yeah, and also I think probably one of the best neutral minions in the entire game right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's a
Um,
very strong minion because
Super
it's so
sticky.
durable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rarely does the RNG not work out for you, and by that I mean there are basically two or three situations where it gives you a creature that actually damages your board or your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Or minion, sorry, not creature.
Yeah.
So something like a Lore Walker Cho or a Doomsayer, but other than that, you're basically getting two creatures for the price of one that has actually really good stats for its cost anyway.
All right, so let's put in 2 piloted shredders, and let's. Our deck is now a little bit better tuned, and let's get back into another game. Sound good?
Let's do it. Yeah.